Well, I got this room done. Cleaning, pulling the masking tape off, wiping it down, making sure there's no stickies on it. Doesn't it look pretty good? That's even before caulking it. Okay? And then I cleaned up around the outside edges and just rasped those down wherever I needed to. Wiped it all down. It's looking really good. But I'll let that dry before I put the caulking down. See, that's how you want those trim pieces before you get ready to caulk, just like that, see? And that looks really nice, doesn't it? So overall, I'm actually pretty pleased with this. How is this caulking holding? It's pretty tight. I haven't seen any loose bits here whatsoever. Okay? And maybe that's because I've let it dry for 2.5, 3 days. Almost 3 days before pulling the masking tape off, and 2 days for this. I think that's going to be enough for 2 days. I'm going to go ahead and pull this. Like I said, I'm going to pull this today and get all these pieces in the bathroom and down the hallway done. I just finished this section here and inside that closet and around the corner yesterday, so I'm not gonna pull this masking tape off on this section here because it's only been down for one evening so far. Okay, so think about your project and decide. Hey, you're the boss. You decide when to pull that masking tape off, how long to let it set on there and all that kind of stuff before taking it off and cleaning it and caulking it and all that kind of stuff. I'm just showing you how I'm doing it. And hey, there's always 2 ways to do anything. There's 2 or 3 different ways to do anything, as a matter of fact. And scratch the paper towel business with the WD-40. The paper towel gets all it starts pulling apart, and then you start leaving little bits of the paper towel all over the place. So I'm not going to use that anymore. I've been using my little rag. I always carry a small little rag like this in my nail bag, and I'm going to just end up using that. And I'm just going to use one little strategic area on here where I'm going to use my my WD-40. That way I don't get this rag all saturated. You know what I mean? And then there's only one place that's going to have to dry, and that's going to have to where I can't really use that anymore. I can still use the rest of my rag for other things. Okay, so I'm just using this little section. If you have a little dirty area or something, see this little bit, that's the only place I'm going to use I'm going to spray my WD-40 on here, and that's actually cleaning really good. I was actually kind of surprised how it was sticky in certain areas, and it wasn't necessarily sticky where I pulled the masking tape off. It was overages of where the caulking had come across, and I tried to wipe it off before putting the masking tape up and different things like that. And I only had a few little areas where the caulking was up too high, and that's why I used my small little screwdriver for that. It's really good to do that. And you know, if you have laminate flooring like this, and this is a vinyl laminate flooring, I could see that baseboard, that quarter round is going to get dirty quite a bit, and there's going to get lint on there and dusty and stuff. And you know, I've been using this masking tape. The masking tape has really been working good wiping that stuff off. And I don't know if I'm going to use it another time. I might just use a damp towel or sponge, whatever. But the masking tape is working really good for getting all of the lint particles off of there. You'd be surprised when you're working with this stuff. I wiped it down. I wiped the whole length of that down before I cut it. Then I brought it in here, and it just seems like it accumulates. And I can look between here. See all this accumulation right here? It's hard to see, but look at that. That's just from overnight. See? Look at that. See? And you know, I mean, I swept up the floor and stuff when I got done, so it might have been something like just a little bit of stuff that gets on this floor. It gets that quarter round pretty dusty. So I'm thinking, you know, periodically I'm just gonna have to keep my eyes open on cleaning, maintaining this and stuff, and I may have to just take a damp rag and wipe this down every once in a while, you know, every month or so, just to keep it looking nice and clean in the areas where I can get to. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep working and getting this nice and set up for the caulking. That's what this episode is about. And the next episode is I'll show you how I caulk that and get the lines nice and straight and clean. Okay, so after I take the masking tape off and kind of clean off the lint with the masking tape and stuff, then before I actually wipe anything down and feel along the edge, do my finger test down there to feel if there's any stickiness down at the bottom, I'm going to look at that at the edge and see the top edge of the quarter round up to the baseboard to see if there's any caulking that has spilled over that I didn't get from before, that's sticking up a little bit, because that may affect my coat of caulking that I put on, you know, if it's sticking up too high. So then I just take my little screwdriver, you know, or a little putty knife or something and kind of clean that off. Be real careful. That's why I use just a little putty, a little screwdriver, so I don't mark up the baseboard any higher than I have to if it marks or anything like that. Okay, do that. Then you can moisten a little bit of a paper towel, spray a little bit of WD-40 on there, and before you even wipe it down, do a finger test and kind of go a little bit, and then when you feel some, do that little section first, then do your finger a little bit further. Don't just do the whole thing with your WD-40 and go and go and go and go and oversaturate it, because you may not have to do that. You're going to stink up the place too if you do that. Try minimal bit of WD-40 and maybe open a window, put your ceiling fan on, something like that. You'll be fine. Hey, the joys of moving into a condo before it's ready, right? Hey, we had to do it. We had somebody else coming in to rent our other place, and we had to get out of there. And I thought, hey, no biggie. Mommy was good enough to come in here without this already 100% done. So you got to do what you got to do. And you know what? I figured I might as well give this this quarter round a good cleaning too, because some of this had marks at the store and stuff like that, and from me installing it, a couple different little areas. And so I'm giving it a once over all the way, and I found all kinds of imperfections on there. I got it all nicely cleaned and everything. Now look, it looks way better to me having it all wiped down, clean, ready to be caulked. Could you almost leave it this way? Yeah, I guess you could if you really wanted to, but you're always going to see that black little line there, no matter what you do. So that's why I'm going to put a nice, tight little thin bead of caulking all the way along the top of the baseboards, and then I'll check the inside corners, you know, where the 45-degree corners are. Even tight 45-degree corners, if you caulk it, you're better off. See how tight that corner is? I mean, it's pretty tight, the inside corner, but it'll look way better if you caulk that. And even if you had it 100%, let's look at this corner here and see. This one looks tighter even, see? But I don't care how tight you get it, you're always going to see a little black line. That's just how it is with painted white baseboards. Okay? If these were stained wood baseboards, you would never see that. But it's not. And so that is why I'm going to be caulking those. Okay, well, I think that ends this particular episode. Well, that's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos. And next time, yes, we're going to get down and dirty, and we're going to caulk the top edge of the baseboard with this. If you want to watch that, stick around and watch the next episode.